Joining us now by phone is Dr. John Klingborg. He's the recent former president of the California Veterinary Medical Association. Dr. Klingborg, thanks for joining us.
Hi, good afternoon.
What do you think of pet cloning?
Well, what do I think personally?
Yes.
I believe that there's an opportunity here to help animals, that there are research aspects to this, the ability to solve certain diseases. Using cloning is one of the techniques to understand what's happening with them genetically. So there's real benefit there to animals, and
so that's purely from a medical point of view.
Well, but we're talking about pets. We're talking about cats and dogs that are members of a family, and one of them is diagnosed with a genetic disease, the ability that we might have to help them.
Do you think it's appropriate for pet owners to bank tissue from their animal and have a company clone it in the future?
I think that that's something that a well-informed pet owner needs to make their own choice on. It's not up to the veterinarian necessarily to decide the morality of that. Certainly, we should be looking out for animal welfare, and that's our perspective.
Are there animal welfare issues for you when it comes to pet cloning? Because we've heard some arguments in the program about some possible animal welfare issues, such as the use of the surrogate mothers. Let's just start with that. And just in general, do you see animal welfare issues in pet cloning?
I do. I think that there's real concern about what we would consider to be the success or failure rate right now. How many procedures need to be performed in order to produce one viable clone? That is a definite concern. And so we must always be trying to balance the value of gaining that one clone versus the costs of the animals that it took to achieve that. Pet cloning is certainly, or animal cloning period, is not a cost-effective technology by any stretch right now, and I think it's going to be some time before it is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're opposed to the banning of pet cloning, but that you do have some concerns about it. Is that fair?
That is very fair. I think that we have technology that's still in its infancy. I think that there are tremendous opportunities here to help animals, but it's going to take some time.
You are the recent former president of the California Veterinary Medical Association, so you don't speak for the CVMA, but you did not so very long ago. What is the CVMA's position on pet cloning?
The CVMA did not support the bill to ban pet cloning that Assemblyman Levine was mentioning. So we were opposed to the bill, and we were really opposed to the bill from the standpoint that we think whenever a bill is evaluated, you have to look at the unintended consequences and the potential that this actually could have been harmful to pets down the road because it was going to ban the research that might be helpful to them was a real concern for us.
So if the bill were changed so that research was not affected negatively by the bill, would you then expect to support it?
No, I still think that pet owners have the right, pet owners legally have the right now to make decisions about how they want to care for their animals, and they should still have that right to make that decision, whether that animal is cloned or not.
And finally, what's your sense of the general opinion of veterinarians in California on the issue of pet cloning?
I do not think that veterinarians are running out there and embracing this idea. We certainly deal with family members, people who have lost pets, and we are well-versed in helping them through that grieving period. And I don't see the veterinary profession saying, well, wait a minute, you don't have to feel bad at all. Look at what you can do instead, and you can replace your pet. We understand clearly that even a cloned animal not only may look different, but will definitely behave differently in many cases. So it is not a carbon copy.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That's Dr. John Klingborg, former president recently of the California Veterinary Medical Association.